Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta tell you that when I saw Andre Corbill's video talking about Eddie winning, because I normally don't look at other people's videos, particularly if I haven't seen Impact yet, but I wanted to check out what Andre had been doing because he had been pretty busy. He had done some nice videos. He did a video on the first presidential election. He did some work about what happened to Jamie Noble. So I thought I'd take a look. And when I saw what happened about Eddie Edwards, I'm going like, what? I was in shock. And I didn't know how to feel at first. But I'll leave my feelings for the end of this review about that. I just wanted to say that when it comes to someone who does very good reporting on wrestling, I always go to Andre. Andre has always done it. And Andre, I love you because you always give a very fair view on wrestling, on what's going on in general. That's just me. I just like to say that. But was this show a good one? No. This wasn't a very good show because there was certain concepts and certain matches did not make any sense. Let's get to the Team X Gold. Now, I've seen TNA's site, and then I had to go to YouTube. And I agree with the Slick Daddy. TNA's website is ridiculous. There's no information, nothing. I don't know who came up with the concept of that system, using the videos on YouTube with no detailed text information. It makes no sense. So I really hope they understand they need to change that website, because if you don't have a description of what's going on, no one's going to want to watch your product, because they're going to go to YouTube, but then they got to understand what's going on YouTube. It's not like you're writing text on YouTube in your descriptions. Unless you have, and then you didn't write it down saying, well, look at our descriptions on YouTube. Anyway, how do I feel about Team X Gold? This is what I think it is. I believe Billy realized that since we don't show the X Division enough, and these guys deserve to be seen, he's now going to do the concept of periodically letting them do the X Division stuff, but then all the current people of the X Division are going to do 3-on-3, going to be doing a 6-man tag to get exposure. Now, it could be one of two reasons. One, this is just to get them exposure, period. Or two, they're going to reorientate the X Division, and they just want to get these guys out there before they really revamp it and give these guys some love. I don't know which one it is. I just know that this is just meant to give these guys something to do, because they're always in the back doing absolutely nothing on Impact. And then we see them on, I say it again, X Division for Explosion. I'm putting it there. And I say this again, if Billy Corgan sees this video, and I would tell him this, Mr. Corgan, you need to understand that people do love the X Division, but if you do not have room on your main show, put it all on Pops. I really don't want to do it like that. I would tell him still, put it on Pops Explosion, and then sponsor it. Let Josh and the Pope talk about Explosion, because you rarely talk about it or never at all. And then you release it on your main page of your YouTube channel every Saturday. You put it up, leave it up for a day, and then remove it. Having it in your playlist later does not mean that people are going to know it's there. Unless you announce it, or at least show it on YouTube, because not everyone goes to Facebook and Twitter. They do see what's on YouTube by face value. After Impact, sponsor it. Have that beautiful blonde lady, I forgot her name, say tonight or tomorrow night is Explosion. Watch for the X Division. And then the next night, after it's aired on Pop, show it. It is the only way people are going to actually understand your product. Because at this rate, you're never going to get anywhere. But I just believe that these guys are just being spotlighted. I don't know how far they're going to go with it. If they're going to revamp the X Division, or it's just going to stay like that. Now, one of the things I loved, And that was electric. The master. Oh, sorry, my ears still ring on and off. The master of the universe did a, you could say, a Carson-like segment. I love the sets. I love that he had the mic. I love that he has a chair and he has a table. And instead of doing the way he did it before, I think this is a better concept than just letting him be in the ring the way he was before. And if it was in the ring, which I believe it was, I don't believe this was outside the ring. I believe it was in the ring, but they focused only on the set, not the entire crowd. I believe that was the wisest thing to do. It gave it something different. And the one who made that segment just wasn't just Eli Drake. It was EC3, angry that he couldn't get it done. And he said it clearly after dummy, yeah, was pumped a couple of times. He said, I'm done. You do it again, I'm going to eviscerate you. I'm going to destroy you. My passion's now been returned with revenge and anger. Give me a reason to destroy you because I want to destroy you. Do I believe this is a good segment? It was a great segment. EC3 sounded great. Eli Drake sounded great. And this could be for the Feast and Fire briefcase. This is what I believe. That eventually they're going to have a match for that briefcase to see who's going to have the chance to cash it in. No problem with that. Having reason for guys to be together is better than just sticking guys together. Now here's something I did not like, and I don't understand what happened. Wolf Creek steel cage match. What the hell happened? One, the steel cage match was a Full Metal Mayhem match. At least it was better than a Monsters Ball match. I want to get away from that. But in this case, they just had the weapons all at once, instead of having to go through a couple of guys and a timer. But you guys tell me, what happened to that segment? We don't know who won the frickin' match. Very nice TNA editing. That was the worst thing you could have done. It's bad enough that it got cut before we even know. Worse, you don't address it on your YouTube page. I'm not talking about Facebook, and I'm not talking about Twitter. You could have added the last part of that, saying, sorry ladies and gentlemen, something happened with our tapings. We do have the footage. Here it is. At least then we'll know who won the frickin' match, because no one knows who won that match. It's not like it's on their website because they don't have anything written, unless today they finally reorientated it, because I have not looked at the website. But if they have it, we don't know what fucking happened to the match. I'm sorry for the curse, but that's the truth. Then they didn't want to come up with a new concept. They just revamped an old concept of Full Metal Mayhem. And having a rabbit head on a stick sounds interesting, but it would be interesting you can actually see it. They didn't focus on it enough. Revy round around the ring and throw the steel cage door into the abyss. So we didn't even see that rabbit head stick much at all. So it just felt dumb. The Cody segment. I loved it. Coming down to the ring, Brandy looked wonderful. The only problem I had with that entire segment, if there was nothing else, it wasn't Mike Bennett coming down and causing trouble. That's understandable. You got to have something for Cody to do before he gets World Heavyweight Championship shot. They're not going to let him have that shot immediately. If they do, it's wrong. Cody needs to build up in this company, even though he has a lot of credibility. The problem I felt was Brandy. I love me some Brandy. And Brandy was dressed as a wrestler at Bound for Glory. That means she's going to go into the women's knockout division. But she should have been allowed to talk. Maybe in the next segment she'll be allowed to talk. But if she only does, it's getting me upset. Because if the only thing she does is whisper into Cody's ear, that is just a wrong thing for her to do. I understand that she's the wife. I understand that she's the manager. But she's still a knockout. She showed she was going to be a knockout. Then let her act like one. That's what I'm saying. Aaron Rex versus Baron Dax for the Grand Championship. Oh my gosh. Why? I didn't have a problem that they stuck with the concept. I said this myself. Stick with the concept of the 3 rounds. Make it 5 minutes instead of 3 minutes so it'll actually give you something special. But I also said let it be a monthly thing. Monthly. Now if this had to happen because they needed to show a defense on this show, fine. But if they do it every 2 weeks or every week, the concept is going to go under and the people are going to get angry. This is something that's meant to be special. Have it once a month. Billy, please, make this a once a month match. Let them actually maintain the 3-round and with the judge decision, but let it be on a monthly thing. If you make it once every couple of weeks, it's going to crash. You're going to lose your popularity with this match. You're going to lose some popularity with that title. Do not make it every week or 2. Make it once a month and make it special. It would be better if it was every 2 months and then Aaron would have fights in between it, but he would not be allowed to be able to have the match. He has to wait on the days that the match can be held, and Billy can make that happen. That's just me. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Okay. This is it. If you haven't seen my thumbnail, really, Eddie? I put Tank Top Girl there to best represent, and I haven't really put her up lately. So I'm going to make her big in my face right now. Then I'm going to make her small, and she's going to stay there. And I'll probably stick a couple other images along with her. And I'm doing that because she deserves to be seen on my video because she is damn cute. I still love her. Miss, whoever you are, you're so cute. Anyway, if you saw how it was between Moose, EC3, and Eddie Edwards, the only person there who's been built the least is Eddie. I understand that Lashley was going to go and do a match, I believe still for Bellator. He's not in MMA, he's not in UFC. He's in Bellator. I believe he still has a contract with them. But I don't hate Eddie. I like him. He's a good wrestler and he can talk well. But here's the problem. Where has his build been for the last 6 months? Nowhere. He's had a couple of shots at the X Division. He had a couple of shots at one shot at the world title. But that's it. We've barely seen him. He's barely had a build at all. TNA has been neglecting him. And then they throw the title on him. I don't hate him. I mean what I say. I like Eddie, but he needs a build. If he's a transitional champion, I would understand that. It's going to go to someone else. Maybe EC3. Maybe it's going to go to Aaron and Rex. Maybe it's meant for Cody. If he's a transitional champion in this situation, I'm not happy with it, but I would understand it. But if they let him have a run with that for more than 2 months, that was the worst way you could have gotten the title off of Lashley that I've ever seen. It just felt terrible. And it's not a Daniel Bryan rise. I'm sorry. The only person that could be a Daniel Bryan rise would be DJ-Z. DJ-Z is the only guy you can actually have a rise with because he got the X Division title. He had to fight for that. And he's been pushed more than Eddie Edwards has. If you're going to give the title to someone, it would be DJ-Z. He could have been the X Division champ. And he could have been the World Heavyweight champ. That would have been a very intriguing thing. And then you could have dropped the title to Eddie Edwards where he could have the title. And then he could be doing something else. Because when it comes down to it, I just don't see Eddie Edwards as a good champion. A transitional champion, yes. But a good one where he has a couple of months, maybe 4 or 5 months run with it, I just don't see it. It just seems like a waste of time. And that angers me that they did this to Eddie. It angers me they did this to Lashley. And it also angers me that if you're going to go with an underdog, it should have been DJ-Z. And that angers me with him as well. But this is just my point of view. I hope you leave a comment and tell me how you felt felt about this show. It wasn't 100% bad. There was a lot of stuff I liked. But then you don't know what happened in the Wolf Creek match. Eddie Edwards winning makes no sense. I know I could talk about Gail Kim. I don't want to talk about Gail Kim because they did not focus on Allie. But I will say this. You got Josh Matthews sitting next to his wife. And I felt like this is something they've been wanting to do for a while. And also, Cody and Brandy seem to be very happy where they're at right now. They just seem to be light and joyful. I forgot to say that. But you guys tell me how you feel. Leave a comment below, and I hope you have a good day and good night. And oh, my face has gotten better. Here, I'll show you. I can move it now, but when I talk, my face still pulls pretty heavily. So I really can't do it normally yet. I still have to hold my face. But I am very glad my face is working better now. As you can see, I can move it. And if you guys were worrying that nothing was changing, things have changed. I am getting better. You guys have a good day. Have a good night. I made this so long. Peace!